I'm Doug. I'm lucky enough to fly this sucker for CQ Rescue. If you've got a bit of time, why don't you come with me? We'll jump in the front and we'll have a look around, see how it works. Better chuck a shirt on. Throw our sweat leck on, make sure we don't drown. Nice and secure. Got my helmet sitting up there, handy, ready to grab it, ready to go. If you go around and jump in the other side, you can come with us. Righto, in we get. Now, for you to get in, what you got to do, put your feet up on the steps there. Then reach up with your left hand and grab the wire rail there. What you're going to do is you're going to put your left leg down there, swing your right leg around the cyclic and place your butt on the seat. Give it a crack. Wasn't the prettiest, but it'll do. Ready to go. Shut my door because it's cold this morning. So I've got my knee board here. I'll strap that to my leg. It's got some useful information for me on it, and I've got a chronograph here that I can write on it. It's laminated, so I can write down useful stuff like the weather. If we get clearance and I need something, information that's important on there, I can write that down as well. Also, if we're out on a search and rescue or something and we get a frequency or a lat long so we can work out where we're going, I can put all that information on the knee board nice and handy. Well, here we are. We're sitting in the cockpit. Some of the things that you're going to need to know if you want to come for a spin with me is how to move this thing around the sky. That'd be pretty handy. So we've got the cyclic here, which my right hand rests on like that, and the collective down here, which my left hand rests on. And if you can see down here, there's two pedals which are kind of up under the instrument coaming, and my feet sit on those suckers. So a basic rundown of how a helicopter works, and all helicopters are the same. The cyclic is how we go left and right and forward and back. So if I want to go left, and I can give you a little demo, helicopter's sitting here like this. If we want to move left, I push the cyclic across to the left, helicopter will move left. If I want to go to the right, push the cyclic to the right, helicopter will move right. If we want to go forwards, push him forwards, helicopter moves forward, pull the cyclic back, this tilts, helicopter moves back. Simple as that. Now, if I want to just turn on the spot and face that way, I'm going to use my pedals. So I push my left pedal in, helicopter will turn. If I want to turn right, push the right pedal in, helicopter turns that way. The only other thing that complicates it a bit is the collective. Basically, if I pull the collective up, the trees are going to get smaller. If I push the collective down, trees are going to get bigger. We'll have a quick look around at some of the things that are useful in the cockpit. Over here, you'll notice something that you should all be reasonably familiar with. It's an iPad. There's two of them in the aircraft. There's one over that side and this one here. They sit on a nice mount here and they get charged from the airframe, so we can use them for all kinds of things. We can use them to work out how to search for places. We can use Google Maps on there and find out buildings or areas that we want to go and have a look at, find good places to land. There's checklists on there, there's frequencies so we can talk to people on the radio. They're really helpful. They can tell us when the moon's coming up and how much illumination it's got. They can tell us when the sun's going to set, how long we've got before we get home, when the wind's coming. It's really good. So they are actually very handy, even though they're not part of the airframe, they're kind of an addition. Another thing that you'll be familiar with, it's not actually in the cradle at the moment, but down here, if you pan down here next to your leg, an iPhone sits in there, which also has all those same apps, and it's hooked into the airframe so that we can talk on that while we're flying. So if someone's in trouble or needs to contact us while we're flying around, especially if we're flying over the top of someone in a car or on a road and they're trying to give us some information because they know where there's an accident or there's some obstacle that they don't want us to hit, they can call us up while we're flying and say, hey, helicopter, watch out, there's a big wire over here, or hey, you need to come further to the left and land over here, mate. You're in the wrong spot. So that's really handy. Things that aren't so interesting, but we kind of need them, will be all these instruments here. So this sucker here, that tells us when we're not able to see because we're in the cloud, that becomes our horizon. So that there is like an artificial horizon. So we will concentrate purely on that to keep ourselves upright when we can't see outside the airframe in cloud. This one tells us which way we're going. We've got a height here. We've got something that tells us how fast we're going up and down. This sucker tells us how fast we're going through the air. And then the rest of this stuff here is all engine instruments and a whole bunch of squares that highlight when things go wrong. We don't ever want to see anything on that. That's called our master caution panel. Over here, you've got a replication of some of those instruments. This sucker here is actually pretty handy. That's a weather radar. So that one will help us dodge those nasty thunderstorms that you see in summer. And then moving across, you'll see another iPad. And that's for the air crewman, so he can do some different things over there. If you come back to the center, right in the middle, this instrument is a GPS. It's a touch screen and it is really helpful. So we use that nearly all the time for navigation around the sky. Just like you use your TomTom in your car. Down here, a whole bunch of radios. So they allow us to talk to people on the ground, talk to people in the air. They also help us navigate around the sky. The little needles that point to where we're going as well. Moving down, this one here. This, some of you will have found very helpful because it's the thing that will identify an EPIRB on the ground or out in the water. And that little screen there will come up and tell us how close we are, what direction we need to fly. And it's the thing that leads us to someone who's in trouble and has set an EPIRB off out in the water or in the bush somewhere. This one's a sat phone. Allows us to call when we don't have phone reception. So, here's a headset for you. Throw that on. I'll chuck my helmet on. And then stand by while we go through a bunch of checks and get this thing spinning. How you doing over there? Got your headset on? Let's get into it. Let's start this bad boy up and make some noise.